Hey everybody, it's the Urge Warrioress here on Transformation Tuesday, checking in because I had a really powerful experience this week. I saw my niece for the first time in about a year and a half due to the pandemic. She lives in Florida. I'm in New York. I'm unable to travel. And I saw, of course, my brother and sister-in-law as well, her parents. But, her parents, for the most part, I've been able to connect with because through FaceTime and such. But a toddler on FaceTime, like that's tricky to make that connection there. So I left feeling really transformed, right? I left feeling like, wow, I bonded with her. I'm like, oh, I have this important relationship and in this little girl's life. And I left like wanting to do better, wanting to be better. Like, not to discount the ways that I am, showing up for health and life already. But it made me really want to be healthy and intentional in so much of what I do because I have this like little person who's looking up to me now. So anyway, that definitely connected me to my binge eating. It served as motivation for me to really, want to continue taking this seriously. I did not binge the entire time I was on vacation. I had one or two urges, did not binge. Since I've gotten home and back into the grind, I've had four urges so far, one of which I accepted, three I declined. And when I accepted the urge, which happened this morning, I stopped it I stopped like a binge basically in my tracks. And that was right before I made this video. And I was like, damn, I need to vlog about this because basically there was a situation I was tasked with at work that was really stressing me out. And it's like a technical troubleshooting thing that normally I really don't have to deal with. But, given some unique circumstances, I was like, all right, I really need to figure this out myself. And it just wasn't working. And at a certain point, I started overeating and I'm like, what's eating you? What's eating you? And I stopped eating and I was like, you know what? I'm at an impasse. I just can't do it myself and I need to ask for help. So I asked for troubleshooting help and I'm like, you know what? I have to just let this go, and step back until I get some help. And the reason why I wanted to make a video about this, is because I noticed that once I started having the urges, it was like an immediate response to this task I don't want to do. And I didn't immediately run away from it, which is a milestone. I faced it the best I could until I was like, I can't possibly face this anymore because I'm at an impasse, And the three urges to eat I had today were all in response to this task that I did not want to do, thinking of food as like a pleasure and a distraction that will take me away, from this task that I would eventually have to go back and do anyway. But that's how these urges work. They're almost like just gut responses to things, right? So our brain associates the momentary pleasure and comfort that comes with them of something that will soothe me and prevent me from just feeling this stress and discomfort over not knowing, what to do about setting up this printer. So, I think that sometimes, those of us who have eating disorders tend to be kind of hard on ourselves, right? So I think that sometimes the tendency is, when I started picking up the food, in response to that third urge I had, when I started picking up the food, I think the tendency is to be like, see, this whole recovery thing is for naught. You can't do it, right? Like, there's a tendency of us to just be like, fuck it, I can't do it. It's so hard. Throw in the towel, right? There's definitely that tendency. And I experienced that for a moment in my mind. But then when I really sat down to think about it, I was like, no, this is important to me. And this is simply what it takes. Right. And that's kind of the mantra and the message of today's video is if I have to constantly try and constantly make like less progress than I want to, but still progress nonetheless, like that this is simply what it takes, right? And I think the transformation part, you know, comes in the motivation of this transformative experience I had in bonding with my niece, in terms of like, okay, so this transformation will give me the motivation, you know, that I need to change. And really that ongoing kind of self-love and grounding approach of this, of, you know, honey, this is something that matters to you. This is a behavior that's not working for you. This is a behavior that you know will result in negative consequences that will impact your life, that will impact the lives of anybody that loves you, because they're ultimately going to see you suffer, right? And I'm ultimately going to see myself suffer. Like, it's just pointing out this is something that, although it gives you comfort, temporary comfort and temporary pleasure and temporary soothing, right? Acknowledging it gives you all of those things. So honey, of course you want it. But it's going to make you feel bad in the long run. It's going to make you feel bad, you know? So how else can we sit through this? You know, how else can we sit through whatever is uncomfortable, experience it until it passes, you know, without overeating? Like, that's kind of what I need to do. And these reminders are really helpful. I always say these videos and sharing my experience, it's a way of grounding. You know, it's a way of taking myself out of whatever I'm dealing with currently and maybe seeing it from another perspective, right? You know, introducing the new, more grounded, healthy perspective that I'm trying to adapt in recovery. So, thank you for listening today. You know, I hope that you're able to find what excites you about transformation to give you the motivation for going forward. And I hope that all of you recognize, as I am learning and trying to remind myself, that transformation is daily strength, daily courage. You know, and those of us in recovery from addictions, especially early recovery, and especially those of us who frequently lapse, as I do, you know, it is something, we are dedicated, we are strong, we are resilient, and sometimes it's just okay bouncing back and doing the next right thing. And for me today, this was the next right thing. So I hope all of you can find out what's the next right thing for you today. And I look forward to checking in and posting another video soon. Thanks.